Taylor Swift just released the music video for her song Look What You Made Me Do, and it's garnering its fair share of controversy, not just in the normal musician circles, but also in the larger discussion in one instance of domestic violence. But let's first take a look at some stills from that video. It is first, starts in a graveyard and there's a lot of little images nested. This one's Nils Sjoberg. That is the alias that she used when writing a song for Rihanna and Calvin Harris. It was at the center of the reason that she and Calvin broke up. And so that's in there. She is laying the basis for all the injustices done to her. Next to her in this bed of jewels later is $1 bill. That it symbolizes the $1 that she won in the civil case against the DJ who touched her butt. And sued her for millions and millions of dollars, but instead she won the case against him in the countersuit for $1. Then it gets there's a little violent imagery. There's a line that says, "The gun was mine." You said the gun was mine, saying essentially someone framed her for something she didn't do, but there's fire coming out of her fingers. Moving on. Following the dust up with Kanye and Kim, a lot of Kanye and Kim fans called Taylor a snake. So she is surrounded by snakes who are serving her tea, which is a metaphor for gossip, ladies. Later on, this is Streamco, which she robs the vault of violently with a baseball bat. And since she's been called the cat lady, she's surrounded by those people who are now not wearing cat masks, were at one point wearing cat masks. This, she's talking how she was kind of vilified for being a money-grubbing maniac by some when she wrote an open letter to Apple telling them to pay artists instead of not pay artists during the 3-month trial period ahead of the Apple Music launch. There, she's mad. She doesn't like that. She's pointing a baseball bat at you. This is Todrick Hall, friend of Pop Trigger. He was in the video. He is wearing an I Heart Taylor Swift shirt, which was worn by Tom Hiddleston, her ex-boyfriend. This kind of setting up all the reasons that she has been victimized in the past. And she continues, you'll see another image, her on top of all the images of Taylor Swift. It's a mountain of Taylor Swifts. You'll see from a different angle her looking down at other incarnations of Taylor in the past, from the guitar-wielding country music sweet star who cried a lot to various other, like the Red album era.
I thought you were going to say Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding.
This is almost like a Red Wedding of herself. Because she's killing all the old Taylor Swifts.
Yep.
And so it's fascinating imagery. It's in some ways got more symbolism than Game of Thrones. The pearls are a reference to her being criticized for liking pearls too much. So she's both going after her opponents in the media and the music industry, but also saying she's done with being I think the timid self that she used to be in some portions of her career. So it's very interesting. But since she's saying, look what you made me do, that's also leading to calls for saying that this video is encouraging domestic violence. Because that's what a lot of abusers say, look what you made me do.
Right, we have a tweet that we can throw up real quick from Justina Ireland. Her exact words are, look what you made me do is the exact phrase my dad uttered every time he would knock the shit out of me. Just not a good look.
Okay, now the song is not about domestic violence. It has to do with going after her enemies. In fact, if you read the whole song, which I did, I'm such a nerd. I didn't listen to the song. I read the song. Okay, it sounds like Arya Stark is singing it. Okay, like literally, it's like almost everything you could put into Arya Stark. Like, I'm going after my enemies. I'm going to get you one by one. I've got you on a list. I'm like, okay. So I'm curious what you guys think, because so the people who are saying, look, this happened to me, the domestic violence, and this is what they say. And it's not just anecdotal. Some people who take care of domestic violence victims say this is the most common phrase that they hear.
Right.
So I've got my thoughts on it, but what do you think, Anna?
So I don't love the title of the song. I think she could have gone in a different direction. And I hate that phrase. And it's funny because even before I knew that she was getting criticism for supposedly promoting domestic violence. When I heard the title of the song, I'm like, that's like something someone would say, right before or after they're about to abuse someone. So I didn't like the title. With that said, based on the imagery that you showed us, Brett, I don't feel like the imagery promotes violence. Maybe her doing the gun gesture with her hand can make that argument, but that was really the only thing I saw. What annoys me more than anything about this whole situation and the music video is this isn't anything new, okay? This is usually what young pop stars do when they first have a squeaky clean, like I'm a really good girl, like image. And then all of a sudden they grow up just a little bit and they're like, I'm so bad and edgy. I'm so bad. Look at how bad I am. I'm gonna get you. Like that, it's so played out. I know, Taylor, I know. You're very edgy, you're very upset, you're gonna come after your enemies, blah, 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 blah. It's just boring. That's more than anything, that's what I get out of it.
Fascinating, I didn't see that coming. I have a totally different opinion, but Brett.
I think Taylor is such a fascinating figure. She has done so many things incredibly well. The open letter to Apple. Open Apple is an old button on the Apple keyboard that doesn't exist anymore. But the open letter to Apple, according to Time, saved Apple Music. She called them out because they said there's gonna be a free 30-day trial or 3-month trial for folks who sign up for Apple Music. And Taylor wrote an open letter saying, so you're gonna pay everybody, right? You're gonna pay all the artists for that 3-month trial because according to my research, you're not gonna pay them any money. And so through that, there was able to be a dialogue where small artists who are on Apple Music would get paid, albeit a reduced rate, for their music that is listened to on Apple. So she has done a lot of things and she's been a very wily businesswoman.
I like that she went after the guy who, decided to sue her after he grabbed her butt. And then complained that he lost his job as a result of that. I'm glad, I love the way that she handled that situation. So I'm not saying she's all bad. She's just annoying sometimes when she does her standard pop star BS, and it gets under my skin.
So look, in terms of Taylor, let me quickly just go through that. I care more about the larger issue. Look, she's definitely a savvy marketing person, and so she's coming out with this video. She sues the guy before this video comes out. Hey, look, I'm standing up for other women. So now this video comes out. Come on, I've got some street cred, right? With Kanye, they have that beef back and forth where Kanye did play the tape of her giving permission to talk about him in the song because she knows that's going to generate more controversy. But then Kanye puts in about how he might sleep with her, which they didn't agree to. Blah, blah, blah. But all it does is get her more and more hype and marketing, and that's how the music industry works. And I'm with you, Anna. It reminds me of the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
Super annoyed by all that pre-fight, like, oh, we hate each other. We're going to say this about, oh, you're a bitch, no, you're a bitch, and all this stuff. And after the fight, they hug, and they're like, oh, that's good sportsmanship. Partly they were just faking it to get more money from you earlier, pretending to be angry at each other with God knows, you have so much of this is fake. It's so annoying. Having said that, I think the more interesting part is the people who went through domestic violence getting quote unquote triggered by that. This is where people would go, oh yeah, you're soft. Well, they went through domestic violence. They're not soft. And so for them, their reaction is perfectly normal and understandable. On the other hand, I don't think that there's anything wrong with the song. So I'm not sure how to resolve that. So she's not talking about domestic violence. She doesn't mean to trigger people who've had a bad experience with that. And we're holding her to a double standard because Dr. Dre has a song about look at what you made me do. Almost exactly the same thing from the Chronic album, right? You went and turned me back into the old me, and how he went back and was gangster. And he has a lot more in that song than a finger with fire coming out of it.
I know, but I mean, look, first of all, rappers like Dr. Dre have been criticized for their lyrics and for promoting violence and the way that they treat women. It's not like they've been treated with kid gloves, in the past. So, and so while the lyrics are fine, it's weird because the song is about, getting revenge on people who have wronged her. Like getting revenge how? You know what I'm saying? Like that, when you're using baseball bats and you're doing like gun gestures with your hand, that does trigger people. So I get it. I get the people that are looking at that. They don't like it.
Well, yeah, I hear you. But first of all, I had no problem with the bat, no problem with the fingers. She had like a knife that she was wielding somewhere. That
in a different video.
Yeah.
And she also blew people up in a different. Bad Blood has tons of explosions. It looks like a Michael Bay film.
But when Joe Pesci uses a bat in Goodfellas or a phone or whatever he's meeting with people with, we don't go, oh, he's sending the wrong message because that's a male and he's supposed to, and it's a cool gangster movie or etc. But Dr. Dre does get the criticism, you're right about that. And now Taylor gets the criticism, so.
Right.
Yeah, look, if you pretend like you're gonna be a bad girl, then you're gonna get criticism for being a bad girl. It just comes along with the territory.
This was such a well thought out video with so many images in it, and we went through them all, and it's fantastic to watch and really like intellectually engaging to unpack. That said, the premise of Look What You Made Me Do is one where you're giving up responsibility and pinning it on someone else, and that's a weak position. Because if it's your decision, you need to come at it from a different reason. It's like, I'm out for justice. That there are lines in this that's like, I got mine and now you'll get yours, which is more of a, like, if you did something wrong, something bad's gonna happen to you. But she has another line later where she says, I'll play the actress in your bad dreams or something like that. And that is more like she's moving toward the role of the villain more than she's actually going to do things that make her a villain. So I think it's more complicated than that, but I do think on its face, Look What You Made Me Do is a weak rhetorical position for anyone who's making a large statement.
Every one of you has made excellent points.
Yes.
I now have a ruling.
Bring it.
Okay, not guilty.
Yeah.
So it's fake. It's rhetorically bad. We do feel bad for the people that it affects negatively, but 1,000 pieces of entertainment, and this is entertainment, have talked about revenge and getting justice. And I could see Anna Kasperi make a video about what now?
I know, but that's,
Right.
look, I think the difference there is that's who I am. And I've been that person from day one, right? I didn't start
Don't make
this
her
show, I didn't
go to
start
the
this
old
show
Casper.
like showing up with like my like ruffly white dress and like blonde hair. Like, I'm a good girl, I'm such a good girl. And then all of a sudden I show up and I'm like, I'm bad, I'm gonna get you all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just comes off as so incredibly fake. Like, just be genuine and authentic.
She's been in this since she was just a kid.
I know,
Anna,
so have
cut her a
I, by
break.
the way.
Since you were a baby?
Since I was 20.
She
Yeah.
was 15 or something.
She was
Whatevs.
16. But you know, it's possible. No, you're definitely right about the fakeness, but it is also possible that she got pissed at having constantly being attacked in the media because she's a well-known celebrity, and that we feel her pain on. So nonetheless, these are great points.
Yeah.
But you might have not heard me earlier. I ruled not guilty.
Okay, well that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. TYTnetwork.com/join.